On this webinar, we're going to take a look at reformatting search results, and we're going to cover the below content. So once you run a search in Adapt, and you first run that search, what it's going to do, as you can see here, is it will look a bit like this, list your results. It will just be one field in there. So depending what you're running, we're running the candidate search, so it's listing just the candidate name. If you want a bit more room in this view, you can collapse your sidebar and then you can remove this section here. So you might want to put more data into this section here, into that results. So what we're going to go and take a look at is options and the formatter tool. At the top, it's listing the full name. As we know, it's already been seen. At the bottom, this is where you can select different data fields so you can view those with the results. So for example, if we go to mobile, if you double click on that, that will move that to the top section here. You can also use the search bar here as well to go and find the fields that you want. So once you have added in all of those fields, they'll be listed like this. And you have an option to then select the order you want those fields to be in. So for example, you might want current employer to be second and not third. So use those arrows to put data in the correct order you want to view it. If you ever decide there's something in there that you don't want to be in this section anymore, you can always come back into this section and use the cross button. So you click on the thing you don't want and use the cross. Once you've done that, you can hit apply and then add in those results. So see how much nicer it looks. The on button is where you can then open up that view and scroll through the results. And you can always sort in this section if you want to. So going back to the options and the formatter, at the top there are other options here, so you can always sort the data in there. So like you can see, I sorted just now the data by last contacted. There are other options in here. So if you're using the highlighter in the options section to highlight your data in different colors, you can then sort that data by the highlighter. At the moment it is in ascending order, but you can easily change this to descending. If you run a postcode radius search and you've used that in your data to search in the first place, you could then look at the distance that the candidate's postcode is to the postcode in the search. You can also sort by ranking and weighting. So if you're using that to look at the most important order of data, then you can also sort there and you can show in groups as well. Now just going back to the view for a second, I have shown you how to add in certain data. The other thing you can do in the view is you can look at document categories. So what you might want to do is from here in your search results, be able to view if that candidate or your candidates have certain documents against them in the document library. So if we scroll down to CV and click into here, double click, you might want to view, for example, if they've all received or got an original CV attached in their profile. So again, you can double click to add that up here. You also might want to view if they've got a formatted CV. So you would then select the folder you're adding those into. And then clicking on apply, you can see here, if there's a black box here, you'll be able to see that they've got a document in that particular folder. Great thing about this is you can also click on that particular folder there and it will list the document down at the bottom in the document preview. So last thing I wanted to show was filtering the results. So say for example, you've got in here 93 people, but you only want to see people that live in the Worthing area. You can go to the options, format a tool, select the filter, and then you would type in here, town and city. You can then pick the condition, so you've got equals to, or you could use contains or begins with in this example. So I'm going to leave it on that and say equals to Worthing and add that field in. And you could continue to add others in there, it doesn't have to be just the one. Then clicking on OK and then apply, and you'll see it's then going to reduce our number to 48 and list only the people that have their city and town data as Worthing. So you can see it's a great tool. The one thing to let you know is if you then run a brand new search, it will hold that filter in there. So the next search you do, you might not want to filter by Worthing. So just make sure and be aware that you need to come into options, back into the formatter tool, onto the filter, and then delete the filter you had in previously. And of course, then applying. And that takes you back to the full list of results. So that's how you can use the formatter tool in your search results in Adapt.